Worked out last time.
They say, don't they, that you learn something new every day. Well, in my case, I've learned 1,000 things in the first 3 matches. And to continue my education, Darren is by my side. So, Darren, the absolutely picture-perfect start, not for Europe, but for the USA. Oscar needs to reverse things.
All right, run him down.
Yeah, it looks like after the re-oil, he's still electing to throw urethane. And based on that shot, combined with the 2 I saw earlier in the Baker matches, I'm not convinced. But he seems to be comfortable with it, so we'll see how the match progresses.
Oh, it's back.
This is a contest of 2 very powerful personalities. Osku was engaging in trash talk yesterday, saying that the Weber Cup is European, it's where it belongs. We want it back. Well, Kyle Troup speaks for himself.
Yeah, a nice light mixer there for Kyle. It was a similar shot to Osku's, but him throwing the reactive ball gives it a little more down lane reaction. Mix him up for a strike on the board in the first frame.
The actual quote from Osku: the Yanks have had their fun. Now we'll bring the cup back to where it belongs. So far, empty words.
Yeah, I'm thinking the bowling balls are going to have to do a little more talking. That's the case. But Oscar on the board with a strike there. Very nice.
Typically, we don't use a frame.
USA just does not want to miss right now. But it's still very early, even though it's a 3-0 deficit. It's first to 23. And they're still going to need 20 more wins to take the cup home, so we will see. So like I mentioned earlier, they just re-oiled, and I believe Kyle and Osku were the only 2 practicing because they're obviously bowling this match. And Osku was throwing urethane for quite a long time, and what that piece of equipment does is it picks up the oil and it stays on the cover stock. So it brings the oil down the lane, so it makes the lanes tighter and tighter as they throw more shots, especially if Osku continues to throw urethane. And I think Kyle's starting to see a little bit of that oil down the lane right now.
Okay.
When it comes to throwing strikes, USA much better so far, 25 to 16. And it remains on 16 for Europe.
It's a pretty big advantage so far. And in this format with this scoring system, striking is even more important.
Good shot.
Now, with Osku throwing so many shots with urethane, I'm going to have to believe that both teams are thinking about different ball selections possibly to help combat that amount of oil that's being dragged down the lane. As we see here, Kyle's switching balls already. His first 2 shots were pretty similar, went right by the head pin almost. The nice break right there. I think Kyle made a pretty good ball change. Looked like the ball contained a little more energy. You got the nice break, the messenger on the 10 pin.
I think that's the 3rd time we've seen the messenger go and hit the 10 pin right at the death there. Makes such a difference.
Absolutely, especially in this format, like I said earlier, with the scoring system. Having a strike on the board and guarantee that 30 for that frame is a much bigger advantage rather than having 19.
Get up.
Nice shot there from Osku.
From Espoo in Finland, now lives just outside Gothenburg in Sweden. That's Kyle Troup. He's a native of Taylorsville in North Carolina.
Team USA has just been locked in this whole time so far. They haven't showed any signs of slowing down. I think Europe's really going to have to catch a couple of good breaks here and step it up a little bit if they want to get back in this contention for the cup. USA with a slight lead right now. It looks like Osku took a re-rack, possibly slowing Kyle's momentum down a little bit, maybe just to regroup for himself. Another really good shot for Osku. I don't think urethane's the play right here. And as somebody that likes to throw urethane a lot myself, when you play those angles, you get kind of comfortable in that spot. You're really shy away from wanting to do anything different. But in this case, it's been a shootout so far. He's going to have to look at some different options, I think, if he wants to throw some more strikes.
All right, good shot, man.
He's throwing him way too good to not be striking right now. So that ball change, I think, is very important for them to take, for him to have a chance in this match.
Troup composing himself, realising the importance of continuing, keeping his foot on the pedal.
It's been pedal to the metal the whole time for Team USA so far, and it's been quite a show to watch. And just as Kyle made the quick ball change after 2 frames, I think Osku needs to do the same. But it looks like he's going to throw urethane again this shot. Same ball. I'm really not sure what to say at this point. He's going to need some luck.
Guess it's American flies.
No flies on Oscar,
I just killed one.
Should we say the opposite?
I've actually seen a few flies on the lanes today.
That's it.
Yes, a fly against a bowling ball isn't a good matchup, is it really?
No, no, not at all. I think the bowling ball wins 150% of the time. As far as energy dispersion is concerned, I think this urethane ball is just losing a little too much in the front part of the lane. Doesn't have enough to get all 10 down once it gets to 60 feet down the lane.
Come on, Kyle.
As long as Kyle can stay in his process and keep making good shots, it's very likely it's going to be 4-0 after this for the USA.
Goes a little too quick. I need to even go further right and keep even straighter, I guess. So that one I got to slow down earlier.
Yeah,
Still did the same thing.
Too good.
I like his rhythm. I love his concentration.
Oh, baby. Brooklyn.
Oh, there's an opening there for Team Europe. Osku's almost seemingly play it safe play might come through. It's hard to say though. Kyle could very easily pick this up and go off the sheet. Give Europe a hard time at coming back. It's exactly what the US didn't want to see in this situation though.
Hi, Oscar. Let's go, baby.
Now is that a momentum changer? Not just in this matchup, but overall.
One truck behind.
Yeah. So the odd thing about this scoring system is that actually doesn't hurt Kyle that much. He still stays up 1 pin and count. He's got an 11-pin lead. Of course, he would have liked to have a mark there to have the extra 10 pins, but in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't harm them that much. Now Osku's just stuck playing with his hand position, micromanaging, and when the scores are this high on a pattern that isn't that difficult, it just puts him in a bad spot. It's almost like he's forcing the strikes to come instead of just letting them come.
Oh dear me.
Come on, come on. All right, come on.
That's just something that can't happen at a time like this. Your team's down 3-0, 0-3, however you want to look at it. You know Kyle's got a really good look.
Is it too harsh to say, Darren, that was a schoolboy error? Novice error?
I don't want to say it's a novice error, but it's a mistake that a lot of professionals typically don't make. And given the situation, there might be a little more pressure for the European team. And they might be trying a little too hard to scrape back into the match instead of, going back to what they know. Just bowling, playing the game. Much better shot there for Kyle. His ball reaction looks really good as long as he can put it in the right spot. Osku's still not making that ball change. I'm not really sure what he's looking for aside from strikes. But ball reaction wise, I don't think there's a whole lot left out there for this bowling ball. And that's just a byproduct of forcing it.
Last year in the first session, it ended 4-4. Right now, parity, or close to parity for the Europeans at the end of this session, seems dreamland. Kyle looking to pile on the pressure.
I run down.
Yeah, no,
You get the strike and you're like, yes.
And that one was a little bit inside of target. Looked like it found that, what we call the cliff, when there's oil in the middle of the lane and a good amount of friction to the right. And they look like they're still blending pretty well, but this could be the start of that said cliff, especially with Osku throwing urethane. Being pretty direct up the lane, he's going to carry oil down in that middle part of the lane and really exaggerate that cliff.
I think you got fly.
Kyle with the cover there with a couple more clean frames. They should be able to clean up this match. Actually, only needs one more clean frame. And USA is going to go up 4-0.
Good stuff, but is it just a little too late?
Yeah, they look like a different urethane ball there. Osku moved a little further right. Tried to play on top of the friction a bit more. And the ball just looks like it's working way too hard to strike. Kyle, on the other hand, just letting the ball do all the work for him. Knocking 10 pins down. Getting the job done for the USA.
So 4-0 it is. How about this? An early rout.
Now I can see the lanes transitioning very differently this session after the re-oiled. From Osku throwing so much urethane, they look much, much tighter down the lane.
Well, that last bowl was white, and now he's about to wave the white flag.
Very curious to see how both teams are going to manage the oil pattern moving forward. Kyle's last shot in the 9th frame he thought was really good and ended up going light. I'd assume he thought it was going 10 back. And the messenger takes out the 10. I'm thinking he made a little bit of an adjustment there to get the ball to the pins the right way. Looked like he lowered his ball speed.
And so it's Kyle in style. Last year, you know, he was a member of the PBA League-winning Portland Lumberjacks. And in that singles, he cut Osku Palermaa down to size. 4-0 USA.